So there's 4 parts to this framework. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is this first little section up here. And we won't be able to go into depth on everything, but we're going to do some work on the high level key concepts. So the first pillar of a thriving community is, let me get my pen, cause. Okay. And cause is all about having a common purpose. Having a common purpose. And so here's how I like to explain this, because when I give you this example, you're going to be like, yes, I understand what you're talking about. So think about these 2 different kinds of communities. One community is a community of people who are just interested in horses. They just like horses. My niece is a really big horse person, so she's in that horse community. She loves it. But in Tennessee, we have something called the Tennessee walking horses. And there's a lot of people that think the Tennessee walking horse community is actually wrong. They're very against what the Tennessee walking horse community is all about. So which community do you feel would be stronger? A community of people who are just interested in horses, or a community of people who are on a mission to stop Tennessee walking horses from being mistreated? Which of those is going to be stronger? Let me know in the chat. Is it the against the Tennessee walking horse community, or is it just the interest-based community? Number 2, okay, so this is what we're talking about, this common cause. You see it go back to things even like the civil rights movement. There was a common cause, a common mission that they were working on together. And you see this with brands as well. When you look at how Nike actually got its start, it was all about changing the running game. And then now it's all about everybody seeing themselves as an athlete. There's a common cause and a common mission. It's not just people who are interested in good looking shoes. So when we think about cause, there's a few different ways to break it out. The first one is that purpose. So what is my purpose of my community? And for some context here, when I talk about community, I know it's really easy for people to just be like, oh, that's like my community platform, or like my Facebook group, or my heartbeat group, or whatever it might be. Community that's your group of people. So you interact with your community in the platform, you interact with them in those audio rooms or on Zoom calls like we are right now, maybe in person. So think of your community as that group of people, but we really need to be clear about what purpose we've created for our community. The second thing that we need to have is we need to have a really clear path. If we have a cause and we have something that we're working towards, I have to know that you are the guide that's going to help me get there. Do we have a plan? Where am I going? If you ever show up somewhere and they're like, hey, we're on this journey to this waterfall or whatever it might be, and they're just like, it's somewhere over there. I always think about Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz when they're just like, Oz is that way. And if they just sent her on her way, how confident would she feel to start that journey towards Oz? Not very confident, right? But they gave her the yellow brick road. They gave her a path. And then the last thing that we need is we need progress. And this is, we need to be able to help people in our community recognize the progress that they are making that is in alignment with this cause, right? We need to be able to see that I am supporting and I am contributing to the cause. So before we go on to the next one, this is where I really want to pause. And I know that you can't get progress, all of these things figured out on this one call. So what I want you to do is I want you to take just a minute right now, and I want you to write down, what is the purpose of my community? What are we all working towards together? And once you get that written down, even if it's rough, we all got to start somewhere. I want you to share that in the chat. Maybe even raise your hand and we could hear from a couple of you that could share that. If you don't have a community yet, maybe think about a community that you're a part of, or a community in history that you've studied that had a very clear cause or purpose, and share that, because the goal is for us to learn from each other as we see through examples how this is applied. So get really clear on what that purpose is. What are you doing with your community? Okay, David says, helping people change themselves to get the life that they want. Courtney, we come together to practice, upgrade, and elevate how we're showing up in relationships and life. Murtaza says, to enable anyone to launch a lasting community. These are so good. And again, feel free to use the raise hand button. And if you're wanting to share. We'd love to hear your voice too. Oh, goodness, these are coming in hot. I love it. Olivia says to strengthen each other on their walk with Jesus and navigate all areas of life with grace and space. I love that context. Michelle says to ensure online business owners have accessible legal access. So good. See, it doesn't have to be complicated, right? It can be really simple. It says boost the professionalism of frontline workers who work with street children globally to get better in helping street kids off the street and into positive futures. Wow, that's powerful. I love that. Ian, feeling like people are exploring a healthy spiritual life with a deeper sense of meaning and making a change in the world. Nancy, women entrepreneurs are not invisible and we see each other without trying to fix us. Kim, helping people create awareness behind why they are living the life they're living and not living the life that they want to live. Misty, to halt the hustle and get out of home biz overwhelm. How many of y'all are like, amen to that? Halt the hustle, get out of the overwhelm. Yep. Henry, supporting SMBs to implement effect-led growth strategy for better results. Patrick, to help inspire teachers to design and deploy their mission so that they leave a legacy, which positively impacts their corner of the world and generates an income. Noreen, lifestyle strategies to prevent dementia. There's so many more flowing in here. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but do you all see how this having that cause is so important? And so what I want you to be thinking about with that cause and having that clear purpose is, how is my path helping them achieve that purpose I've given them, right? So Matt here says to enable anyone to launch and grow a profitable and purposeful business. So when Matt outlines his path, he's going to start with, my friend Stu McLaren calls it the success path, right? But you're going to start with point A, where they are now, all the way to point B, where they want to be. And then we're going to fill in those milestones and stages in between. And when I do that, it should be giving a really clear picture of how I help them achieve the purpose that they are here for. And then those milestones are also going to help them be able to measure their own progress. Okay. So if you're confused about like, how do I gamify my membership, right? How do I celebrate people? It's probably because we're not super clear on the purpose and the path first. But when we do it in this order, when we get clear on the purpose, it now helps us have clarity about how to define that path to success for our members. And then that enables us to really help people measure and see their progress. Do y'all feel pretty good about cause? Give me a thumbs up. I'm going to look in the window here so I can see. Yep. Okay. All right. Move right along.